Hello and welcome to the Nonprofit Narrative Podcast, the go-to space for marketing managers and development directors who are passionate about taking their nonprofit to new heights. I'm your host, Dan Portnoy. Hi. And in each episode, we're going to be diving into the world of nonprofit storytelling, donor engagement, and fundraising strategies. Whether you want to refine your narrative, boost your fundraising efforts, or seek inspiration and guidance, you're in the right place. So today, we'll be exploring some innovative tips, practical ideas, success stories. You never know where we're going to go. But today I want to talk about welcome videos. Welcome videos are a great thing to talk about in February because in January, we're getting ourselves back together after a crazy December, and you kind of take a breather, and then you got to think about, all right, what are we doing? What are we doing for this year? What's our strategic planning looking like? How is that all coming together? Well, our theme for the month in the Nonprofit Narrative Academy is just that, strategic planning. So I want to talk about that, but that'll be coming up a little later this month. I've got a great guest in Kristen Spioto, who's going to be talking to us about strategic communication. And then also later this month, I've got my brother, and you say, oh, nepotism. And I say, well, if your brother is really good at a thing, you should let him talk about his thing. And he's really good at graphic design. He has just an incredible eye for design. So we're going to talk about design, and we're going to talk about all that goes with it and what it conveys. So that's going to be some great fun later this month. Okay, so let's talk about welcome videos. Well, I had a crazy idea a couple years ago, and as a writer, I know that sometimes I come up with ideas and they're kind of half-baked, so I need to let them ruminate. And sometimes that takes a long time. So actually it did. It took a long time, Tyranny of the Urgent and some other things, and I came up with this idea that I wanted to talk about things like welcome videos and just a lot of the kind of sins of nonprofits just in general. But the tough part about doing it is that usually it means trashing a nonprofit or like trying to block out all the things that they did, like all their logos, and then talking about it. And so instead of doing that, I've created a fictional nonprofit. It's called Unfriend the Children, and you can visit unfriendthechildren.com or .org, and you'll find my website. And so it's the more we do about this year, we're going to talk about like all the different things that Unfriend the Children is going to do wrong. And it's just easier when it's me making all the mistakes to talk about it instead of somebody who's actually really trying very hard to get something out into the world and then I just trash it. So that's what I decided to do. So with that, I decided to do a quick welcome video. And I want to talk about some of the sins of this welcome video. But first, I'll just play the quick audio.
In the hustle of life, choices matter. Every day is a chance to do things. And you know that Unfriend the Children knows the value of that. Our world is full of numbers, and statistics show that numbers can be numerical. And we're committed to changing that. Join us in our mission to do things differently. Because change is what our world needs right now. Weather changes, and so do we. At Unfriend the Children, we're dedicated to helping. Unfriend the Children, ignoring the future, one child at a time. Visit our website at www.unfriendthechildren.com. There's more info there.
So, Unfriend the Children. It's very silly, and hopefully you'll bear with me and enjoy my silliness as much as I have been. So here's the deal. So I'd like to go through just piece by piece, and we begin with slow piano music and black and white photos. That's probably my biggest pet peeve because slow piano music and black and white photos are not a good idea. It's the first idea that you're thinking of. I know that you want to grab people. You want to get started. And I know that sometimes when you're doing stuff like this in-house, you go with your ideas. You don't have a lot of time, and I hear you loud and clear. I really do. But let's just say that this is going to be your billboard that's on the front of your house. And if it's on the front of your house for the entire year, you got to make it good. Like you have to spend the time on it. If you need some ideas, go to AI, go to the internet, go to YouTube, just do some searches, come up with some stuff, like throw some spaghetti at the wall, but please don't do slow piano music and black and white photos. It's I think it's the worst. I really do. I just think it's the worst. So we start with slow piano music. And then, of course, the one thing I do start with on the end, if you haven't seen this video, I do recommend that you check it out ASAP because it is so terrible. And hopefully you haven't made any of these sins. I have not, maybe I have. I mean, it's been 15 years, so I feel like I probably have learned some things since first starting doing videos for nonprofits. But one of the things I do is I start with a really bad font choice, and I put it at the bottom of the screen. And that's not necessarily bad, putting your font and putting it at the bottom and letting people know what it is. I don't think that's bad at all. But there's an order to things. You know, if I'm going to introduce a nonprofit, if I'm going to introduce myself, I have to say it in my text. I have to say it in my script for the actual video before I start pushing it. And then, of course, I have some bad black and white video, which is people just drinking, which, you know, drinking's fine. I don't, you know, it doesn't bother me one way or another. But for nonprofits, that could be not the best, just in general. So that's why that's included. What's next?
To do things.
Oh, yes. So every day is a chance to do things.
Every day is a chance to do things.
So I actually have the script as nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. It sounds right because the voice is very convincing and the music is going and everything seems right, but it is nonsensical. When I just launched it a few days ago, a lot of people, nobody said anything to me. I haven't got comments like, what is this nonsense? I put it up on TikTok and like 1,000 people watched it. It was 1,000 views because I think people were very confused, which is fine. That's exactly what I wanted. So please do check this out. Okay, so every day is a chance to do something.
And you know that Unfriend the Children knows the value of that.
And you know that Unfriend the Children knows the value of that. Okay, again, sounds convincing, but I'm not saying anything. I think my 10th grade social studies teacher would be thrilled that the same thing, the same tactics I did for my essays in 10th grade, I did them here as well. So I've just got some bad stock footage that's going together. It's a woman, she's typing at her computer. It's not really connected to what we're doing, and that's the point. Everything's kind of disconnected. What's next?
Our world is full of numbers, and statistics show that
Our world is full of numbers, and statistics show that numbers are numerical. Again, cutting to another some stock footage, and it's a woman and a girl in her late teens, early 20s going over something.
And we're committed to changing that.
And numbers are numerical, and we're committed to changing that. Cut to some volunteers working on what looks to be recycling, again, so that it seems like everything's going well. Join us in our mission to do things differently, which is what our world needs right now. As we cut to someone who is praying, looks like they're doing yoga on the beach, and the music swells. And now Unfriend the Children is dedicated to helping. And we cut to our logo as it cuts to a woman who's staring at a whole bunch of, there's just a big swipe around her as we cut to a video of, the video is, the camera's ramping in front of her. I don't know. What do we say this? It's on a dolly and it's rotating around her. So could be a gazebo shot here, but you wouldn't know that because I put the logo directly over her face in the center, because the most important thing was the logo, not the person, which doesn't convey the right messaging as well. Of course, the logo is really weird in its coloring, but also in its font choice. It's a couple different fonts in the logo. It looks like it was made in the back alley, and it kind of was, because I had AI do a bunch of this stuff, which was really fun. Both the voiceover and some of the scripting. I wrote the script, but I had the voiceover happen from AI, and then I actually had AI make the video as well. And then I added some things like the logo and the website at the bottom. So that's kind of it. And then it says, visit our website, unfriendthechildren.com. But on the video, it says .org. So we rushed. That's the other thing that happens. So these are all the sins that I see pretty often. So thanks for indulging me with that. Again, I hope you watch this video and check it out. So let's talk about, there are essentially just 10 things that I think, well, it's more than 10, but I think I'm going to try and get it into 10 here that really help out your welcome video. And I'm going to put this as a PDF and you can download it. I'll put it in the show notes so you can have it. So first thing is a clear introduction. We need to start with the organization's name, your organization's name, and it clearly pronounced. So it can't be like, Unfriend the Children. It needs to be Unfriend the Children. You know, that has to be a big thing. You don't have to put your mission statement in there, but if it's really compelling, if it's really well, if you can get your organization's mission into a statement or just one sentence, say it. You know, I think that's a really great thing. Hi, we're Unfriend the Children, and we believe that blah, 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 blah. That is great. That is great because it's telling me where you're at. It gives me a stance, and then I can check in with myself. Am I agreeing with this? Am I not? It's fantastic. Then we want to make sure that we have an emotional appeal. This isn't in any kind of order or different things that you want to make sure that you have them in this order, but rather they need to be in the script. So when you're putting this together and you have a welcome video and you're putting it out, you've got to include these things. I'm actually gonna also have a worksheet that you can get. So I'll put this up on the website. So if you check portnoymedia.com, I'll put it under resources so you can grab it. Okay, so we want to also have an emotional appeal. That's a really crucial thing. We want to have personal stories. How do we do that? You know, personal stories. We want to share stories of individuals or communities that your organization has helped. Again, remember we have to think that your audience is the hero. And so also with that are the people that you're serving, right? We, as the organization, we are the mentor character. We need to show expertise and that we've been around the block, but we don't know how everything's going to work out, which is why we need the help of our audience here. Also, we need to match great visuals that are powerful and evocative images that illustrate the impact of the work. So that if you can get license to have video of the people that you're actually helping, I think that's fantastic. If you can't, because sometimes we need to honor the dignity of things, and you know, maybe you work with kids, and kids, we can't just go ahead and have video of their faces. That's just not a thing. So we have to use stock images, and I think that's okay. But if we have the powerful story behind it, that's going to matter the most. Okay. Number 3, you need to have a problem and a solution, right? So what's the problem? You need to clearly define it. What's the problem or the challenge that your organization is addressing? And then you need to show how your organization has an impact. That's really, really crucial. How do you address a situation? How do you make it better? And then you can also say like, and we're going to need your help, because that's exactly what we're going to do, which is our next thing, number 4, our call to action, right? We need to have some sort of request for engagement, right? Encourage viewers to join your cause through volunteering, through donations, or spreading the word. I really think awareness should be probably the last idea. I think a welcome video is really great by having awareness kind of be the goal, or adding people to your, thinking of it as acquisition, adding people to your email list, or adding people, basically you're just asking for their opt-in. So I'm not asking you for money. I just want you to join us on this road, kind of thing. If your video is really great, you're going to get money no matter what, because your current audience is going to make another donation because they love this video. I've done a video. We did a video way back. Gosh, that was one of the first ones we did for Stories from Skid Row for Union Rescue Mission. We had adjusted a thing so that we embedded a video actually in their donation page. The first time we ever did anything like that. And it was crazy. We got like a $30,000 donation. I think it was $30,000 that same day that it went up. It was insane. The Union Rescue Mission is a little more out there or very upfront, very vocal in Los Angeles' Skid Row. They have some very high-powered donors. They put this up. They made it an option. They sent it out to their email list, which was multiple thousands. And this came back. So you just never know what's going to happen. You put together a good video, you make it easy for people to give, and things can happen. But I think by saying our goal for this is actually just to get people to join our email list and to take the journey with us, to say, I want to get two gifts from them this year, and think like that. Like, I really want that. I want to get my 2 gifts of $75 or more from this person, but I need them to know that they're on the journey with us. They need to know all of the information before I'm starting to hit them up for cash. I mean, just think about any kind of relationship. You don't start it by just asking for money. You tell them the story, you bring them in. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is where we're helping. This is all the things that are happening. Look at our impact. This is what we've done. And then we're going to talk about, money, because then we're going to say, yeah, we've got this next project. Do you want to be involved in it? Great. Boom. We want to make sure that we include our contact information. We want to provide clear details on how people can get involved and where to find information. That's going to be our website. But our website, so you got to think through this. Is it easy on your website to get involved and to find out more information? Can I sign up for your newsletter? Can I make a phone call and talk to somebody? Is that very visible? Can I make a donation? Sure. We want to put that donation piece in our header. Yes. But we also want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of us. Can they talk to us? Can they email us? Can they join our email newsletter? Is there a pop-up that's happening that's doing that? Is it being featured on maybe we've got a big bunch of a gallery that's happening as it's on a slider and it's moving forward. Are there photos from the video they just watched? And they're coming to the website and it says, hey, do you want more information? We launched our new video. Sign up here. Stuff like that. You've got to think about it. It can't just be living in a vacuum, just the video. So after our call to action, we want to think about authentic testimonials. These are great. They don't have to be in there. It doesn't have to have that piece. You could just do voiceover. It's fine. But an authentic testimonial of someone, again, documentary style, this is a great piece. Some sort of people who are the beneficiary of your organization. They're some sort of short, authentic testimonial from people who's benefited from the work that you're doing. That will mean the world. Also, other things to think about in terms of testimonials, volunteers, also staff. If they're sharing experiences of the organization's community and the value that they're doing, also your values as an organization, that will be massive. Number 6, I'd say we want to make sure that the visual is high audio and video quality. Okay, this is where I think bringing in a professional is a good idea. Don't get me wrong. We all have iPhones. We all have good Samsung phones. We can shoot great looking video. But the difference between a consumer, like a professional shooting a video, like I want to shoot it in 4K. I want to make sure that I've got good depth of field. If you shoot it on your iPhone, everything is the same depth of field. It's all clear. There's no real cinematic feel to it. And we are used to looking at things cinematically. When we watch TV, when we watch a whole lot of things, don't expect your audience to have to adapt to a whole bunch of new things. Speak the language that they're already used to. So that's good high-end video and audio quality. Okay, especially audio. We will tolerate bad video, just humans in general. We will tolerate it for a time. Not forever, but we will. If something goes out of focus, we don't mind. If the audio is bad, I'll change it. I will change the station. We'll just adjust because it's just not something that is done. Our brains won't tolerate it. That's just really the way it works. We want to make sure that we're also, as far as that high video or visual elements, we want to have branding elements, right? So that's going to be our logo, our color scheme, our font choice. That's why that's so important. All of these things, your font choice, your logo, your color scheme, this should all have been worked out in your just your branding guidelines, and your brand should all be conveying the same kind of message that your welcome video would. Okay, so having them all together, it shouldn't be really different. If you haven't spent the time on your branding, spend some time, hire a professional, hire a designer, because fonts mean things, colors mean things. And by doing that and having that all together in your branding guidelines figured out, when you put it into a video, it's going to just sing. It's just going to be absolutely amazing. Number 7 would be transparency and trustworthiness. So we want to highlight key achievements, any kind of awards or recognitions to build credibility. That's why we all put those donation, the different donation Oh, it's not just the awards, but the recognition, so that people can double check, our transparency financially. How much is going to the program? How much is going to staff? That all of that. By anything that we can include, any kind of award is great. If we don't have any awards, don't make any up. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. But you want to make sure that whatever you're saying, make sure that's the thing that you're doing. Make sure that you're not embellishing. Don't embellish. It's just a really bad idea. It's just a really bad idea. Just be upfront. If you're just getting started, if you're a new nonprofit and you're just getting started, don't say we've been around for 10 years. I think it's actually better to say I saw a problem. And starting with the founder, I saw a problem and I didn't like it and I wanted to change things. So I started this organization to change things. Would you join me in that? Boom! Like, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. And it's endearing. And I think that's a really good way to do things. You want to also make sure that you're mentioning, like, how are these donations going to be used? This is what we do. I mean, it doesn't have to be like your $1.77 is going here. Not like that. But just more like, how are these funds going forward? We're using them to build a park. We're using them to help kids after school with this program that we're doing. We're using it to fight, to get clean water for people around the country, around the globe. We're against the issue of homelessness, so that your dollars are helping us provide temporary housing for X amount of people. Huge stuff. Usually there's some sort of inspirational closing. That's number 8. We'd have some sort of, vision for the future. We want to end with some sort of positive, inspiring message, right? We want to end on an upbeat, because if it just says, and it's really terrible, and if this doesn't get fixed, we're in trouble, and it just ends like that, is anyone going to be excited about it? No. They're going to be very sad about it. Generally speaking, movies at the movie theater, if they end sad, the reviews will be not as good and it will make less money. If it ends positively, like, you'll never see a tentpole movie end badly unless you're the Avengers part 1, because we knew part 2 was coming. But if part 2 ended down as well, oh man, that would have been just terrible. It wouldn't have done the $1 billion that it did. We also want to include some sort of thank you, right? Thanking viewers for their time, their consideration. Thank you. It's a great thing. Again, doesn't have to be in there, but it's good if it is. Number 9, I'd say any kind of accessibility features. So this is going to be things like captions, things you need to think about. You need to be thinking about, when you release this, will there be captions, or will you be putting it on a platform that you can put captions on it, like Instagram, TikTok does that kind of stuff, that they have magic buttons that will caption the whole thing for you, and that's great. So if you're gonna do that, then don't put the captions on there ahead of time. For YouTube, you can either include the captions for everybody, or you can upload just the script, and they will take care of the closed captioning. So that's a really important thing, that you can do that for those who are hearing impaired, for those who are watching without sound. Watching without sound, think about your own usage of social media, etc. And you're probably watching it without sound, because nobody wants to hear, all of that information all the time. You're on the bus, you're on the train, you're commuting, you're next to somebody in the office. If we could hear everybody's phones, it would just be bad. So think about even the way you use your phone and include options for you. That's a great option. Also, thinking about, like here in LA, we've got to have language options. Considering offering translations, if my audience is multilingual, that's a huge thing. 40+% is Hispanic in LA. I don't know what the native Spanish speakers are here in LA, but it's a lot, and I think to ignore it would be a real sin that way. And I'm using just the word sin because I think that's Cinema Sins. It makes me think of that. If you've ever seen that YouTube channel, Cinema Sins, it's very hilarious. The last thing that I would say is social media and sharing. Again, coming back to this accessibility, you want to make sure that people can share this video on social media and other platforms. The other big thing is, remember, 2 things share on the internet very well: things that are horrible and things that are terrible and awesomely terrible. No. Things that are terrible awesome and things that are awesomely terrible. Yes, that's what it is. So we want to we want to make sure that we're making it easy for people to share on the platform that they're seeing it on or another platform. Make sure you're at the places where people are at. If you want to let people download it, I think that's fine. You want to make it so that they can share it to wherever they are. So if you are finding that, if someone said to me, hey, I saw your video on Instagram and I really wanted to put it, share it to my followers on TikTok, but I didn't find it, I would be starting a TikTok right then, and upload it and then let them know, oh, we just started it. Go for it. So you're still in control, in the same sense of how your media is going, but letting people share it is the most important thing. Also, engagement, encouragement. So you want to invite viewers to comment, like, or follow. Do that in the description, as you're posting it. Hey, could you comment on this? Could you like it? Could you share it with your network? It's really important that we're doing this. We would really appreciate this help from you. So if you've got all those things together, then it just makes it that much easier to keep moving on that. So if you include all these elements, it's going to help you in your welcome video effectively communicate your nonprofit's mission, your impact, and the needs. All right, while also encouraging viewer engagement and support. So that's just a quick top 10. Again, I'm going to include it. Check out the website, check out the show notes. I'll have everything there. Well, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you've enjoyed our discussion, want to talk deeper about transforming your nonprofit's narrative, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me on social media, pretty much at Dan Portnoy, pretty much everywhere. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I'll see you there. If you want to have, I'm also posting things like insights on tips and community stories of different things that I've got going on that are going to help with your nonprofit. If you have any questions or concerns or need guidance, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me, dan@portnoymedia.com. I'm here to help and always eager to hear from you. So remember, your story can inspire change. Let's make it heard. Until next time, keep making a difference and stay connected. I'm rooting for you. Sign up for the Portnoy Media newsletter at portnoymedia.com. This is Dan Portnoy. Have a great one.